This is GeroTheHero, and this is my review of Orange Episode 12. In this episode, we get basically a flashback episode, but this time from Kakeru's point of view. We find out that Kakeru's mom threw away his soccer cleats because she didn't want him to play in clubs or any kind of like sports. She has a habit of deciding things for him ahead of time. He blames her for her divorce with his father without talking to him, which I thought was kind of interesting because like it's not really his decision, but he's already angry with her. As well, she's the one that decides to change schools. We find out that Kakeru screwed up in soccer and was being picked on by upperclassmen. When Kakeru decided to hang out with Naho and everyone, he got mad with his mom and didn't get a text after the last exchange. All he got back was a text that was basically like, you are grown up now, you're not a child, so do what you want. So Kakeru gets hurt from some kind of accident and gets sent to the hospital. And then we also see a scene where Kakeru, while hanging out with his old friends from Tokyo, reveals to these people that his mom died and that he wants to commit suicide, and he confesses all this stuff, and they don't think it's real. They think he's just joking. And Kakeru doesn't correct them. And I thought that was kind of typical. I mean, I don't think everybody would do it, but guys tend to be a little bit more not wanting to deal with their feelings. So I could see this happening, but if they were really his good friends, they wouldn't have just laughed that off, I don't think. But it kind of shows you the difference between his friends from Tokyo and his friends that are in his new area. So we also see a scene later where he's crying about what happened and that they don't believe him. And because of that whole situation, that's the whole reason why he doesn't share with Sua, Naho, and everybody else what exactly happened. And then we get to the really bad scene because Kakeru finds his mom's cell after she dies and finds out that the rest of her text, which was saved in a draft, was that she did want him to hang out with his new friends and explained she was only trying to protect him. We find out that his mom divorced his dad because he was abusive, and she was worried that his dad would beat him next. As well, she made them move because of the whole upperclassmen picking on him. She was worried that he was gonna get picked on more. So that's why she makes him move to the new school. And this basically breaks Kakeru's heart because he basically blames himself for the situation that his mom's in at that point. And then we get back to the future again, and they have the idea to save Kakeru by sending a time capsule to the past using the concept of black holes and the Bermuda Triangle as a way to send letters back to the past. This is the only part of the episode that I couldn't buy, really. I mean, it was just like, we're just going to make something up. I personally would have believed anything else but besides a Bermuda Triangle solution. I mean, I was surprised if the Bermuda Triangle thing was the actual reason for the letters getting there. It's just, I couldn't buy that solution. So we go back to the current timeline, and it's right after the fight between Naho and Kakeru. And Kakeru's talking to Naho, but it's not the same. The letter reminds her to apologize despite the outcome of her trying. Naho tries to make amends, but Kakeru's very cold, which I don't really get because he doesn't really accept her apology. I mean, if you really like someone, you would eventually forgive them. You wouldn't just act cold like that, especially just for one remark. I mean, Naho explained herself pretty well, but for him to hold a grudge that long, It just seems kind of out of character. Kakeru covers for her, and you can kind of see that he kind of is feeling sorry for her. He still doesn't really make amends, and the others look on concerned, trying to think of how to help. So that's how the episode ends. It'll be interesting to see how they conclude this. And we already got news just recently that the next episode is going to be a 1 hour special. So I guess part of it's going to be a regular episode, and then the other part's going to be they'll be talking to the voice actors, and maybe we'll get a little behind the scenes about the creation of the anime. So that'll be interesting. I think it's more interesting after the series is done versus before. Like in the example of Kiz Neighbor, it kind of turned me off to watching it right away, just because you're expecting like the first episode, and then you get a episode 0 kind of talking beforehand before they even like start the show. So at least in this case, you're invested and you want to know a little bit more about the show. So hopefully that'll turn out good. I'm looking forward to the last episode. So like always, comment below, subscribe if you're interested, and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you next time.